Okay, so today we'll start another important thing is static keyword. What is static keyword? So it's static, it can be applied for variables, comma, methods and blocks. What is it? So basically it is used for memory management. It is used for memory management. So it applies to, it can be like static variable, static method or static blocks. So static is a keyword in Java. Okay. So let's see first static variable. So what is static variable? So static variable gets memory only once during the class loading. Okay. When the class will load, it will automatically gets memory. Static members of the class are shared with all the objects. We'll see by doing practically. Let me start one package first. So session 10. Okay, now we'll see. For example, I'm creating one class and the class is student class. Okay. Okay. So this is student. So I'm declaring one variable int roll. So this is declaration. Now another variable string student name. This is also I declared. Another I'm declaring static string college name. Okay. Now there are three variables, right? So this one, can you tell me is it static or non-static variable? The first one, int roll.
Non-static.
Non-static.
Correct. Because there is no static keyword, so it is non-static variable. And what about second one?
Non-static.
This is also non-static variable. Okay. Now the third one. Third one, it's static mentioned, right? So this is static variable. Okay. So these three variables, and these three variables belongs to this student class. Okay, so now static variables are memory efficient or it save memory because why? The moment you create something static, right, you do not need to create object for that. Okay, that is why static variables are memory efficient or it save memory. Okay, as simple as that. That so now suppose I have, now this is, these all are I just declare but not initialize, right? Okay. Now for this static string college name, right? So static variables memory allocated only once during class loading. The moment it will load the class, then only the memory will be allocated. Now what I'm doing here, I'm just putting the some value. Suppose Jai Hind College. This is what I did. Okay. So we'll see. Now we'll create a main method. Okay. So main method, for example, so how to create an object?
Class name.
Okay. This is our class name. Then any object, right?
Object. New.
Student1
New.
equal to
New.
new
Student.
class name. Okay. So now this is our, we have created object.
Right.
Created object for the class. Okay. Now this is our variable. So this is our reference variable. Okay. Now student1 dot we'll see role and student name, right? Role and student name. So first we'll select role and we'll assign something, some value. This is student role. Again we'll say student name and we'll some assign name John. Okay. But we have three, right? So these two are non-static. That's why we need we need to create an object. So always remember, for any non-static method of variables, right? We cannot directly access because we need to create an object for this. And for static variable, we don't need object to call. Okay. So this is what, for just time being you understand, this is the difference. So for we supposed to get for college name, but we are not getting, right? If I, the moment I say student1 dot, we are not getting college name because it's a static. Okay. So if I said class name dot college, so I am able to get it, right? Because we don't need that. Suppose I want to get print out system.out.println, right? So what I will say, I will first,
Call directly that college name.
yeah, so the college name, right? This is the difference between static and non-static, right? So now if I print, right, suppose if I print for both two system.out.println, now role, first role, then student name. One second. Suppose role, let me print separate. Why I'm not getting system dot okay. Okay. Plus student dot student name. Okay. So the first one for non-static and the second one for static. Let me run. Okay, so you are seeing John, 6 John, and this Jai Hind. Okay, now if I want to create another student record, then obviously I have to create another object, right? Again, I have to say class name dot student to equal to new student, right? And again, if I need to print student to roll number, then again student to, then again roll, again I have to assign some value, right? And for name as well, student name equal to all. Okay, this is what we have to do. And also if we need to get print out, again first the reference variable dot roll, again student 2 dot student name. So this is how we get the print, right? Now also if in same line, if we want that student, this one, what I mean to say,
College name.
college name, then
Now,
what
what
we
you're
do?
saying actually, Makan, here you're saying that for non-static you're going to create objective. For static you're not
Right,
going to create
right.
objective,
So
right?
basically the purpose is,
Uh,
for static means we do not need to create an object to call this method.
just
Okay,
direct we can call and print.
directly, yeah.
Uh,
So directly you will be able to call the static member or static variable, because it doesn't require any object, right? You can directly call this one. So for example, for this roll number, right, for student 1, student 2, we are every time, for new student we are every time assigning the value, right, assigning
correct.
and creating the object and all,
Mm,
right? But in suppose for example, the student college, suppose I want to print now the student college, right? Student, suppose any student, college name. So college name, the moment, suppose one college can have multiple student, right? And college name can't be changed, right? College name would be same. So in that case, we don't require non-static member. We can put college name as a Jai Hind College, but student name and student roll number can be changed, right? Same goes for employee. If you are working for any company, so in that case, if you want to declare a variable, right? So
mm,
what you can do, which is not changing, means it's a fix, that you can declare as a static
static.
always.
Okay.
Means every time you do not need to declare or initialize the value, because it's going to be same for all the employee or all the student. But in case of student record or student roll number, it will be differ, right? Student to student names would be different. So my point is here, which you don't need to make changes for every time, that you can put as a static. Okay, the purpose of telling is, suppose the college name is not going to change every year or every month, right? Or every year for admission, it will be same only, right? So that in that case you can put the college name variable as a static, so that you do not need to change every time or assign the value. Okay, here we are assigning for every student, right? But the moment I remove this static, right, again I have to assign it, right? This
Create
Jai
a more kind of
yeah. So, or I have to get every time here. So this is only the way, like every time, suppose I don't want, I need a static, means it is not going to change, and we are able to get it. Okay. 1 second. The purpose of this one is to understand that what is the use of static and non-static things, but we are getting errors.
I think it will call directly, Makan, you can remove the student. Yeah, dot.
We
Yes.
can directly, yeah. So basically we don't require, okay.
And
So
you're talking about memory, right? What memory? How it
okay, so if the moment you use a new, right,
Hmm,
the moment you create an object in memory allocation, it will create some space,
correct.
okay. So but in case of the static, it will not create any memory, it will only assign the memory the moment you load the class, okay. Until or unless you don't load the class, it will not create any space. So this is only the use of static. So
Oh,
the,
got
okay, so but by default, the moment you create, right, new student one, or whatever the class name, the moment you use this line, it will automatically give a space, okay, to these variables, role and student name, okay. But in case of static, it will not going to create. You don't, first thing, you don't need to create an object to call. You can directly call using the variable or class name, right? Dot variable we saw in both the way, but also because within the class itself we can directly call this, okay, without creating any object and all, okay. So this is the use of static, uh, you know.
So what is the difference between this final and static? Both are same or what?
Okay, final will come, but final is something you can't change, okay.
Hmm.
Final means you can't modify. That's the use of final. Final means once you declare something, you
Hmm.
can't change, okay. That's the final key. But we will
Static we
come.
can.
Static we
Okay.
can do. Static and final both are different thing. We'll come for the final one. So just understand what is static. Static, the moment you say static, it is used for, okay, memory management, okay. And it can, static can be variable, can be method, can be block. And static, for static anything we do, it should be the like, you do not need to create an object, okay. You can directly call itself without creating object, okay.
Hmm.
Final thing, this thing will cover final, finally, okay. Finalize, there are few keywords are there that will cover, we'll see later program wise, okay.
Hmm.
Now let me create another class, okay. So this was final variable, and we have static. So these are called the members, okay. Static, non-static members, these are also called as a like members, okay. Members of the class, because these members are belongs to this class. This is also called as a member of the class, okay. Now this is for variable. Now we'll see another class. So suppose I'm creating another class called counter. This is just another class. Now class variable. Class variables. Okay. Suppose I'm saying int count equal to 0. So I have initialize and declare both. We have done. So non-static variables will get memory allocation every time object of the class is created. So this is, you are clear, right? If you want to access, we have to create an object, then only we will be able to call this variable, right? And for that, it will get memory every time the moment you create an object for the class, right? Class name, new, that one. Okay. Now, if I say static int count equal to 0, obviously it will give error because we have this one, right? So what is the difference between this? So this is static, right? So we don't need to create an object to call this. We can directly call it, right? That you are clear, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Now we'll create a constructor. So how to create a constructor?
Same class.
Yeah, same as class name. We'll say this is constructor and this is a kind of special method, and we'll do, so I'm just writing constructor. Okay, so constructor with parameter, we'll write with parameter. So how to do constructor with parameter? So we'll say,
And we need to assign the value inside the method, means that in bracket, open and close bracket.
right, that also we can do. One more thing I will show you. So this is one static in this one. Okay, now what we are doing here, we are saying count 1 plus plus. Okay, that means it will increase,
Value.
okay, increase by 1, right? Because plus plus, that means increase by 1. Suppose now I want to get the print for this count 1. So the moment I run, I cannot run it. For that, again I need to create a main object, main method. Okay, now system. Now see the difference. So if I want to access, for example, this counter, right? Suppose this counter. Okay, so this counter, first I have to create object counter obj. Suppose obj1 equal to new counter. Okay, now this is done. Now every time for access anything, right, we need to create object, na? Every time, suppose you are calling some information, every time you have to create object, right? For 3, anything, right? For example, so this it will avoid, like we can avoid this thing we using static. Okay, so everything, for example, suppose I want object 1 dot, now I want this count. Okay, this count, suppose printing something you want to print, right? For every student also you have to print something, right? For that you have to call object, then dot, then count for object 1. So you will do again this 2 for object 3. So this thing, if something is fixed, so we can avoid creating object because it is unnecessary creating extra space in the memory. So that we can, you know, avoid by creating object. Okay, so let me just run it. So the purpose is to understand the static and non-static things. Okay, when we use a static and what is the use of static. So just let me comment this one. This will give you definitely 0 because we have initialized 0 and there is nothing. We are just getting the print. So let me just comment this line and let me just see the constructor. This. Why we are not getting print? Any idea?
Because of 0.
Are you sure?
No, is there something wrong? Showing blank, right?
Okay. Now just let me uncomment this and make this static. This is also count. This is also count. If I say 1, why we are not getting? Any idea? Any idea?
Sure.
We should get some, right? Why we are not getting anything?
You're not running in main method or what?
No, we are running main method only, no?
Where we are running main method?
We are not running main method. System.out.print should be in main, no?
So it
We are
is
not
there
declaring
only,
main
right?
method anything. That's the reason I think.
Correct. So basically from here we have nothing to print, right? Nothing is specified here. So anything you want to print, there should be something, right?
Yeah,
Only you
main.
just have written this one, but nothing is there, na? How it will print? It will print nothing, right? You will just able to print the blank only because nothing to access. We are not calling anything. We have commented everything, right? If the moment I write something system.out.println,
Yeah, bro, that is what you are saying. In main method, it's blank. That's the reason it's not coming.
so now it will going to print, right? That is why we are getting 0. I mean nothing, blank. It's coming blank, right? See,
Not blank. It's coming bye
that
bye.
so it's just a simple, okay. Nothing with the logic. Just I thought, what do you think?
Yeah, because in
So
main method nothing is there, so it's showing blank.
yeah,
Correct?
right. We have commented everything, so obviously it will give you blank only. Okay. Okay, now we'll see. So we have done with the variable. Now we'll see the method. Okay, so you are clear with the static variables, right? A static member, non-static member. We have cleared here, right? These are the non-static members. Some these are
What about
this
the
is the
blocks?
static.
Blocks, Maka?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll have,
Okay,
right?
now,
We'll
now we
see.
covered the variables, right? Never starting method.
No,
Okay.
variables is done. Now we'll see the
Run
method.
method.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So now, so for any static method, okay, let me create one class again. Student 2. I'm just creating student 2. Okay. So static method basically for just listen carefully. For static method, it belongs to the class rather than object of the class. Okay, so basically static methods are belongs to the class, okay, rather uh, than object of the class. Okay, and static method can be invoked without creating an instance of the class. Okay, and static method can access static data members. Suppose data members, I mean to say these are the data members, static data members, and can change the value of it. Even we can change the value of it for static. We know that what is the difference between static and final, right? So the final we can't change the value, but for static, yes, we can even change the value. Static method can access static data members and change the value of it. So how to do that we'll see. Okay, but few restrictions uh, we have on the static method. The first one, static method cannot use non-static data members or call non-static methods directly. Here we saw, right? Here we saw we are not able to call, right? We can't call this to role or student. For this, we have to create an object. Without creating object, we cannot call. We cannot say here system.out.println and just print the roll number. We can't say, it will not going to print, okay? Because see, you can see this is coming as an error. So we can't print, because for that we cannot call it. Okay, we have to call the reference variable. If I say reference variable dot role, then only I will be able to access it. Okay, this is only the thing. So the static methods cannot use non-static data members. These are the data members, right? It has a data members or call non-static method directly. We cannot call directly. Okay, and these and super, there are two keys, okay, available, cannot be used for any static content. We will try. So let me create class variables, okay, and I'm saying int role. So this is non-static again, non-static. Okay, now string student name. This is also non-static, right? Now I'm again saying static string college name, and we can make it static, right? We can declare it Jai in college. Now suppose we have to create a constructor. So for this we'll say as class name. Now with parameterize, we'll see int roll number, for example, and string name. Okay, this is name we are saying. Now this is our constructor, right? So this is what parameterized constructor. This is my parameterized constructor. Okay, now what I'm saying, okay, one thing always remember, the moment you use some constructor and this is your variable name, don't say like this, okay? It will create a confusion. So always make some unique, okay, this name and this role, so you will understand, right? Don't make the same name. Now what I'm going to do is I'm saying this role, so this is global, right? And this is a local. So for example, this role has a life enter to this class level, right? Means this role has life to enter this class level, but this roll number only you know range is within this constructor level, right? So that's why these are called a local, and this is, we can say, global. Okay, what is local and what is global? So global is we can access this variable under any constructor, under any methods also, right? This role. So that's why this is global, but this role, it belongs to this constructor. That's why the life of these variables are within the constructor. That's why it's called local. Okay, now I am saying this way variable, okay, this variable equal to this one. I want to point it, I want to map with that to this, okay, for example. And this student name is my this name, okay. So this is, we have done it. Now this is our constructor, right? This is our constructor. So we'll create another method which is void and say display, and this is the method syntax, same as constructor only, right? Okay, now here I, so void, is it return type or no return type? Does it return anything?
No.
Vinod?
Void will not return anything.
Yep. So this display, so here what we are going to do, we are saying, for example, we are saying student, okay, student name, for example, this student name plus role, okay, we are saying this student name and role plus college name. Where is our college name? This is our college name. So this will just give a print for these things. So already this role is pointed to this role, and this student name is pointed to this student name, okay. Now see, static method, okay, static method to change the value of college name. So here we have given static, right, and it's we have, but we have not changed, but we have ability to even change for a static, I know, method, okay. So what I'm going to say is static void change value, for example, change value, or change college name, whatever you can put, you can give. Now, okay, what we have to do, we have to change, right, the college name we have to change. So this is my variable college name dot, I'm saying junior college. So from Jai Hind College, I am changing to junior college, okay. So this is another method. So method is nothing, it will perform some task or action, okay, that is the purpose of a method. So I'm saying here it can be junior, but I want to change my college name from junior to from Jai Hind to junior college, okay. So now we'll create main method, okay. Now what we are going to do, for example, for this to definitely we need to create an object, right, or not? Hello,
Yes, we need to
are you
create a.
getting? We need to create, if we want to print, get the print, we need to create an object, right? So student name, now we have to get all these things, right? So obj equal to new student. Why we are doing here? Because we have to get the
Declare.
output. Yeah.
Yeah,
But now tell me why we are getting error. Any idea?
because it's a constructor, right?
No. So what? Constructor is what?
Same class, no? So you have to give the values inside that. Yes.
Not because of that. Because we have parameterized here. That's why we have to give the value. Okay. The moment I remove, I will, okay, the
Okay.
moment I remove, it will not happen, but now I have to, because we have parameterized. So the moment you hover, you can see expected 2 arguments. Means this is one argument, this is another argument, right? So first argument is our, suppose some roll number. So suppose I am giving 10, comma, and second argument is a string argument, right? So second is my name, right? Name, any name. Suppose Raghu, I'm giving name. So this is I'm doing, because this is a constructor, right? So I already cover, if you have something constructor, something output in constructor, and in main method also something system.out.println, and constructor also you have system.out.println. Which one going to execute first? Do you remember?
Constructor.
Constructor, because it will consider as a VIP or a special, right? That's why constructor will give the first output before the main method even. Okay, so now this is creating one object. So now again, suppose I need another, right? Another output, suppose 2. Okay, and this is, suppose I'm putting 11, I'm saying Vinod, right? So this is what I'm doing. I have to create object every time. I have to create object every time because these are non-static. That's why to enter the data also, we have to create object for each student every time, and that's how we can access. We cannot directly access, right? Non-static member. Non-static member, we need to create object, then only we can access, or we can assign or reassign, right? We can do all this activity. Now we have one method, right? Display method. And this display method, what we'll do for this, do you need to create object or not? Now tell.
No.
Think and tell me why no. If you are saying yes also, tell me why. If no, tell me why. We have two methods. Can you see? This is one method, this is one method. This is static method, and this is
See,
non-static method.
void now, we can directly call, okay, using this object dot display.
So we need an object, right?
Yeah,
To call this. Right. Without object, we can't call this display method, na? Are you getting or not?
Yeah, correct.
So any
I'm
non-static.
saying, Hakan, I don't want to create one more object, same object. Example, object 2 dot
Same object only, we can call it. Yeah.
Call.
Display we can call.
Yeah.
That's okay. But for my intention is, any non-static method or variable, we need object to call, right? Without object, we cannot call it. But this is what, right? So display one, for example, display. Now if I want for this also, right? Object 2 dot, again we can call this display. That's fine. But we need a object, right? Reference variable to call, right? Okay. Now change value, right? Change value is a static. So for this we can directly call. Just copy, right, and just give this one. So we don't require any object. Okay. So this is, and now I want system.out.println. Okay. After college name change. Okay. After the college name change, now I am, suppose I am calling this, calling this. Okay. Now just
here we cannot add parameters. Static method.
static also we can do, na? That's okay. You can do. Suppose I will create another. Let me run it.
Mhm.
See, there is no logic with the parameter and static. Okay, the static and non-static is only that the creating object and all.
Rest all same.
Rest all would be same. Okay, let me print that also, right? We take as a system.out.println. Parameters is okay. We have to create a another string to do that. But anyway, uh, the moment you say call it change value, we can directly call it. We'll get the output. Okay, so this is the static and non-static. So again, I'm repeating for restriction. Okay, so now, okay, one point. The restriction of static is the static method cannot use non-static data. Okay, non-static data members or call non-static member directly. We cannot directly call the non-static, data members or something like that. We have to create basically object for that. Okay, and second point, this and super keyword cannot be used with a static. Any static you have, suppose if you want to say this. Okay, suppose these dot super, when we'll see in next example, but remember these and super keyword cannot be used for static. Okay, and we'll see that when we'll come to inheritance concept and all, we'll see the use of these and that, these and other keywords. But for now, static member, static variable, static methods, right? Uh, okay, Raghu had a question for static with the parameterized, right? So static, suppose for example, I'm saying static, then if you need parameterize, right? Suppose I'm saying data type int. Suppose int a comma int b, right? Return a plus b, right? That can be possible. Okay, suppose you want to get value, but here we have to give the param because it's a parameter, right? Two arguments, so you have to pass the argument. Suppose a is 10 comma b is 20. Okay, clear, Raghu? Hello, Raghu, are you on mute? Okay, so this is also we have done that parameterize also static, any method can be parameterized also. There is, because in previous topics we have covered all this parameterize with static, non-static, all these things we have covered it anyway. So any question from static static methods?
No.
Okay. So now we'll go to static block. Let me create another class, static block. Okay. So static block. So static blocks are used to initialize static data members. Okay, this is the first thing. This is used to initialize. Okay, basically initialize the static data members, and static blocks is invoked before main method during the class loading. We will see that one. So it can be an interview question. Like, can static method will print before the main method? Yes, that's true. Now we'll see. Okay, so I'm just saying static. Okay, and I'm not doing anything, just put static only, that's it. And now I'm saying system.out.println, this is static block. So what is the purpose of a static block? Static block used to initialize static data members, that's it. This is only the use. So now this is our static block, right? This is static block. This is our static block. Okay, now our main method, right? We need a main method, then this is main, public static void main string arg. Okay, now I need system.out.println, and this is main method. This is main method. Okay, so always remember, okay, static block will execute first even prior to next method. Okay. Please go on mute. Thank you. So what I have written that static block will execute first even prior to main method. So there is one main method. This is a static. So just run it. See the output. Can you see? This is static, this is main, and now you can have another question, right? If I have a constructor again, right? Suppose I have a constructor. Let's have a constructor and put some system.out. This is constructor. Now tell me which is going to be execute first.
Constructor.
Why not static block? Okay, because I put in first constructor. Is it the reason?
Oh, no, you only said, right? Constructor is a VIP is going to.
That's fine, but we have a static block now also, right? So we did first comparison between what constructor and a main method, right? But now we have a static block and static block. This is a static block. This is constructor and this is main method. So now tell me, what would be the output?
First one is static constructor.
Okay, what Vinod says?
Then next block, then main method.
Main method. What about Vinod?
Same with Raghu.
Same with Raghu. If he is saying wrong also.
Block and main method.
If he is saying
What
wrong
you
also.
understand? See, not like that. What are you understand? Based on that, we are answering, right?
Block.
Oh, 1 minute. Yeah.
You're not
So
right?
yeah.
10
So
minutes.
1 minute. 1 second.
Static block.
Oh no, this is why it is not complete.
Constructor, you need to create a object, right?
1 minute. What is the rule for constructor? Do you remember?
Here we have to create an object for call a constructor.
Okay. But constructor and class name is same, right?
Yeah, bro. Constructor and custom always same, right? That's the reason we're calling constructor.
Right. But
One should be
You need to call. You need to create
S should
object,
be
right? With which object we cannot print, right?
S should be in small.
right.
Sorry.
So Raghu is correct. So what I is saying, for constructor also you have to create object, because without object you cannot call the constructor. So I'm saying this. Now I'm just checking whether you people have gone through all the previous videos and or not. Okay. Now I have system.out.println here. I have already created this one. So obj dot, okay, no need.
Just system print
System
sorting
dot out dot println. Okay.
obj
Obj dot
static block.
dot what will not get, because there is
Hey,
nothing.
just obj is
If I do the same thing here, what happens?
print. We'll see. We'll get this. This is a constructor, right? We can.
We get no, not error. Sorry, I put in wrong place. Yeah, it's same only, but we'll. So basically, I mean to say, when you have a static block, okay, when a main method, then the block will execute first. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
and now you see the first priority would be to the block. Okay,
We
then
can
main
spend it
method.
main method.
Yeah, because we did the combination, that's why. If we don't have this one, right, then the constructor will get the first priority. Okay. So if you
So saying
have
that
a
you're saying that if you have static block, then first is going to print, then main method, third is a constructor.
then constructor, right? But when you put the combination between main method and
Okay.
constructor, then the constructor is going to print first. Okay. This is what. So
No, I didn't understand last time what you were saying.
so
You were
basically
saying
I am
that the
trying to
system
say,
uh,
when you have a combination
of
between block and main method, right? So block and main method, then the block will execute first,
uh,
then main method. Okay.
okay, if your main method you mentioned right, the system dot print.
Ah,
This is a main method. If you keep that one in last, how it's going to print?
no, no,
It's
no, no.
print
That,
as a second.
yeah, same only. If you put like this also, no matter what you are placing, that doesn't matter.
Bye. See, this is
No,
the
no.
last.
So, but normally what happen in constructor only, I can put the constructor. So, okay. So this main method, this is, see, first what we did, we create an object, right? We
Correct.
create an object, then we are calling getting print for this. So this is going to print this constructor. Okay. And why we are getting this, any idea? So this
I
is
don't
the
know.
junk data we are printing because of this line. We don't require this line at all. Okay. Now, if I print, So the first priority would be the static block, no matter you have a constructor
Then,
or not.
then second
Okay.
constructor, then
Then
main.
constructor, then the main. Yeah. So this is the sequence. So the first would be the block level, then the constructor, and then the main method, because for constructor we have to create objects. Okay, then only we'll able to print. And why we are getting print here? Because in constructor level only we have put this one, right? The statement, that's why. Okay, this is what the thing. But now this main method, if I put here, right, you can do this kind of practice and all. Okay, so what is it is going to print? Is it same
Okay,
or different?
constructor will come in down. Middle will come main method.
Let's see. Yeah, because we did first this outline, right? Before creating uh, object only we are printing, that's why we are getting this main method.
Okay, if
But
you block that block status, static block, then it will print first constructor, right? In order.
constructor, let me do that also. So if I comment block now, first it
And
will
keep
print.
this on, this main method in top, means after, before objective.
No, no,
Okay.
then obviously it will going to print,
No,
you
Ray,
are.
you said right. It's going to
No,
print
no,
first
no, 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 no.
constructor.
See. Now I commented block.
Correct.
First priority is giving to constructor, okay?
Correct.
And then main method, whatever lines are there. But
Yeah, yeah.
you are telling this main method I will put here, right? Before, then obviously this main method will first call, na? Because we are calling object after this line, na? You are, see, I put here also what we are doing. First, definitely it will print this, na?
Oh, bro, last
Because
time
we
we
have not
spoke.
created any object for the class, right? To call the constructor. So in second line, we are created the object. Then it will call the third one, na? See, if I get the print first it will give me this is main method, then constructor, then main method. You will get like this. First it will give main method, because why? Because before calling object only you are printing something, that's why main method. Now in second line you have created object, that's why you are getting constructor, and third line and you are putting another main method. That is the difference, right? So before calling anything, right, creating any thing, you will get n number of line, no matter whether it's a constructor or block. Okay, so you will get. But here now, the moment you do like this, by default, whether before main method or after creating object only, it will first execute this.
Okay.
Okay, in that case, first it will check the block level. First it is giving you the block print, then main method, because this main method. Why constructor came third? Because we have created after getting this print. That's why constructor here. Now here we are getting, it's just normal line. Okay, this is only the difference. So constructor also we need to create an object. Okay, that's why I wanted to check whether you guys did practice or not. Okay, it's a special method no matter what, but for that also we need to create object to call to a constructor. Can constructor have a return type? Can
What was the question?
anyone tell?
What was the question?
Can constructor have a return type? If I say this is static block int a comma int b, right? And
Yes, return type only, right? Because you are not using void, right?
no, I'm saying can constructor is a method, okay?
Correct.
It's a special kind of method. So can I say like this, a plus b? Can I do like this?
Hmm.
Will I get some print?
No,
So
no.
for just remember, okay,
Hmm.
the constructor must have no implicit return type. So implicitly, explicitly you can you cannot put any return type. This is the syntax. We can't do anything. Now you are getting error. Can you see? Okay, let me block this one. Now you are seeing error. Why? Argument. But this is we don't do with the constructor, okay, mostly. So constructor we have seen with parameterize and all that we saw, right? No parameterize, we have covered all these things, right? No parameterize constructor, then constructor with parameterize, that also we got. But ideally we don't use most of the times, okay, we don't use. And see, this constructor, right? Now you can see it's not return type, it's a simple, right? It's just giving the output, it is not returning anything, na? Are you see, the moment you see return type, that means we are returning something, we are not returning something, okay, we are just printing something, it's not returning explicitly, okay.
एक बताना रिटर्न और प्रिंट क्या होता है? सी रिटर्न मैं समझा था अब तक प्रिंटिंग
Okay,
होता है ना, व्हाटएवर यू मेंशन
one
दिस गोइंग
second,
टू प्रिंट.
in which class we have covered that return and all? Okay, calculator, yes. Okay, this is return type. So basically in return type you use any data type. Okay, that is return type. But here, is there any data type? No, na?
ओके, डेटा टाइप इज नॉट देयर, इट्स नॉट अ रिटर्न.
Right, right. Because return means what? It will return some data, right? So that is return type. See, here I have in previous classes I have put all the comments and all. Return type method means it is returning something. So the moment you say return, you have to use the return keyword, okay, and it will return some value. So that return would be any data type, it could be double, string, okay, or integer, any kind of. See again with return, can you see, because it is returning. So always remember, the moment I say return, there would be two things.
डेटा
You
टाइप.
check whether data type is mentioned and return keywords is there or not. If there is no return keyword, it will throw error because it is not returning anything. So you need to mention return type. Okay, so this is no return type. So basically a constructor doesn't return anything. It can be an interview question. The moment people ask, does constructor return any return has a return type? If you say yes, then they will understand how much you know Java. Okay, so first thing, constructor name should be same as a class name.
क्लास नेम.
Okay, first you can't make any single modification, it should be class name. It can have a parameterized, non-parameterized, that's a different story. Okay, even you can create constructor like this uh, without parameterize and parameterize, there will be no issue. Okay, it will not show you duplicate, nothing you can create. Okay, anything you can do it, but you can't put like any return type and all, because it doesn't support any return type. So constructor will not return anything explicitly, it will not return anything explicitly. Means even you try to implement also, it will not going to return anything. Okay, implicitly it will not return, even explicitly also it will not return. So on two rules always remember for a constructor, the constructor name should be same as a class name, and the second, it will not return anything. And a constructor cannot be a final or static or abstract. Okay, for example, this is my constructor, right? If I say final static, it will throw error, because here see, static not allowed. So remember, you constructor you can't mention as a static. Okay, first thing, because for constructor also we need to create object. That's it. Also final, we can't say any constructor as a final. Okay, final also it will not allow. You have to remember these things. Even abstract. So this topic will cover what is abstract, what is final. So just for your understanding, a constructor can't be a static, can't have a return type, and it should be same as a class name. Okay, moving to the today's con. So clear all this topic clearly. Okay, otherwise it will be very difficult. Read every day. Try to just listen or watch the video. So any doubt for static, variable, method and block? We have covered all this, right? So
No, bro.
basically
Good.
just